Republicans sought to continue the 2020 bipartisan streak on COVID relief. But our new president and our Democratic colleagues preferred a one-party approach. They used the end of the pandemic to pass what the president's own staff admitted was, quote, the most progressive bill in American history.
Everybody, many businesses are now raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour. President Biden and a bipartisan group of senators are currently negotiating on the new infrastructure package. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. I hope all of you are having a great day so far. Here's your fourth stimulus check update. Now, the clock is ticking this week on President Biden's goal of reaching an agreement with Republican lawmakers in Congress to support some, if not all, of his massive infrastructure proposal. After weeks of outreach by White House aides to lawmakers in Congress, President Biden is meeting with Republican senators this week, whose input could shape the outlines of any final bill. Everybody, do you believe that President Biden should include a fourth stimulus check in his next infrastructure package? And of course, a $200 increase in your Social Security benefits? Tell me in the comments down below, everybody. But there are a number of reasons to be optimistic that Biden can reach an agreement with Republicans, especially if the president agrees to split the massive $1.8 trillion American Jobs Plan package into two or more separate bills. But with each passing day, the partisan divide grows deeper over how to pay for the much-needed infrastructure investments. Democrats have so far rejected a Republican proposal to fund the plan through user fees, with White House officials saying this amounts to a tax hike on middle-class Americans who drive. Instead, Democrats propose raising the corporate tax rate and closing loopholes that would effectively mean corporations and the very richest Americans pay for the plan. But Republicans say that any changes to the low tax rates enacted in their 2017 tax cut bill are a non-starter. What do you think about this, everybody? How do you think the federal government should pay for the infrastructure bill? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Advocates and analysts on both sides of the aisle say that there are no visible areas of overlap between the Democratic and Republican funding plans. Early this week, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki reaffirmed that the search for a bipartisan compromise is coming directly from Biden himself. Psaki told reporters he is quite open, as is evidenced by the fact that he invited Republican senators to meet with him in the White House later this week. President Biden is very open to having a discussion about it and where they can find an agreement and move forward. Everybody, after meeting with Democratic senators like Joe Manchin and Tom Carper, Biden is expected to discuss infrastructure in future meetings with Chuck Schumer and Senate Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, and even House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Biden would then meet with an additional 6 Republican senators to talk about a potential compromise on Thursday. If reconciliation is used, Democrats do not need Republican support for the bill to pass. Now, a lawsuit was filed recently by a group of workers and advocacy groups. They asked a judge to issue an order that would raise the state's minimum wage to $12 by 2022. The group claims state lawmakers illegally amended legislation brought forth via a successful petition drive in 2018. Minimum wage workers became the frontline workers throughout the crisis, so it is definitely important that lawmakers work on passing a federal minimum wage hike. President Biden already supports raising the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour. An increase in minimum wage was included in the third stimulus relief proposal, but the Senate parliamentarian told senators that the policy did not have a significant enough effect on the federal budget to be included as part of the $1.9 trillion relief bill. Should the minimum wage be increased to $15 an hour? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below, folks. But thank you for watching, and until next time, have a great day and stay safe. I truly appreciate everyone's amazing support. And if you guys believe that the Social Security benefits must be raised by $200 a month, then let's get this video to 1,000 likes.
Did you guys take your masks off in the Oval?
We did. We heard all about it. The president took his off too. Yeah. So, well, I just want to say I want to thank the president and the vice president, and we had Secretary Buttigieg and Secretary Raimondo in the meeting with us. We had a very productive, more than courteous give and take. We did talk specifics, and the president has asked us to come back and rework an offer so that he can then react to that and then re-offer to us. So we're very encouraged. We feel very committed to the bipartisan ship that we think that this infrastructure package can carry forward. And again, I'm grateful to the president and his staff for the give and take that we shared in the Oval Office.
So you're going to come back with another proposal? Is that like a higher, more expensive one, or what?
More detail. More detail is what we need to get to them so they can react more specifically. And at that point, he's going to, we'll just, like you do in a negotiation, give and take.
What's your
Senator,
top line number?
We don't.
Senator, can I get you to react to President Biden saying in the interview last night that he'll try to do some agreements with Republicans, but if there's no agreement, he's ready to move on without Republicans. Is that attitude helpful? And what was your reaction to those comments?
The attitude that the president had in the Oval Office with us was very supportive, very much desirous of striking a deal, and I think we all were reflective of that as well.
Well, we had a good hour-and-a-half meeting with the president, the vice president, and two Democratic leaders. Almost all of the discussion was about infrastructure, and I think I'm safe in saying there is certainly a bipartisan desire to get an outcome. Clearly, Senate Republicans are not interested in revisiting the 2017 tax bill. I think the president and the vice president understand that. Beyond that, we're interested in trying to get an outcome. And I think the first step is obviously to define what infrastructure is, the definition of it. And we, I think, all agreed to work on that together. My preference is to include the committees there where the experts are. The president's actually been meeting with members of my conference. Some of them are coming down here tomorrow who know the most about this, and I don't favor having a top-down dictation as to what this package looks like, but rather a consultative process in which everybody in my conference is involved in it.
I felt our meeting was very strong when we talked about infrastructure. I think there's a place that we can find bipartisanship, and it's one thing I brought up to the president. We first have to start with the definition of what is infrastructure. That's not home health. That's road, bridges, highways, airports, broadband. Those are the places we could find common ground and work together. The other thing I think America wants to know is that you're not going to wait a decade to build it. I brought up to the president that we need NEPA reform. Most litigated legislation you'll find anywhere. We need to streamline, not wait 10 years. On average, you're getting 7 to 10 years. If we want to be competitive, we have to have things built now. I also took the opportunity to talk to the president about my concerns about the rise in inflation, especially the numbers that we see today. The concern of what has happened where instead